Before we start, a quick note to remind you that On the Move podcast episodes are designed to improve balance and confidence in your ability to move. Only do what feels comfortable and stop if anything doesn't feel right. For more information, head to parkinsons.org.uk. Hello, you're listening to On the Move. I'm Sonya, and this session is around 20 minutes and mostly seated, as we'll be strengthening the lower body. So let's sit in the middle of our chair, place our feet flat onto the floor, parallel, and our legs approximately hip width apart. Just lengthening up from the hips right up through the top of the head, chin slightly tucked in line with your breastbone. Relax your shoulders away from the ears, open up the collarbones, and let's begin with strengthening our lower body. I'd like you to extend your right leg. Extend so the knee opens as far as is comfortable, toes facing the ceiling, and then return the foot to the floor. Let's switch legs. Extend the leg. Good, as far as you can, toes up to the ceiling, and return foot to the floor. Let's do this a few times. Stretching the leg, pressing the heel away from the hip, the knee opening, and then return the foot to the floor. Continue to extend and bend. Once you extend the leg, just check that it's not snapping. It's a controlled lengthening of the leg, keeping that knee softly locked before returning the foot back onto the floor. Just a few more repetitions, extending, soft lock, and return the foot to the floor. We'll do one more repetition. Extend into that lovely soft lock, pressing the heel away from the hip, and return to the floor. Hopefully you felt the front thigh muscles working there as we strengthen muscles called our quadriceps. We're now going to strengthen the hip flexors. So I'd like you to lift your right leg, your foot lifting away from the floor, pausing, and return the foot back to the ground. Let's repeat with the other leg, just lifting the foot a few inches above the floor, pausing at the top, and return. So we call this our scissor legs, seated scissor legs, alternating that lifting, pausing, before returning the foot to the floor. Lift, pause, and return. This could be a little bit challenging as you're lifting the whole of your leg, which is quite a heavy limb to lift. So just do as many as you can. If you're able to, let's do 2 more. If you need a rest, feel free to keep your feet on the floor and just take a few deep breaths. Now we're going to combine the 2 exercises together. So let's sit tall, just have a little posture check before we start with our right leg. I'd like you to lift your foot just a few inches. Now extend that leg long, opening the knee into that soft lock, feeling the muscles in the front of the leg tightening, and then bend the knee and return your foot back to the ground. Let's repeat on the other side. We lift the foot, extend the leg into that lovely soft lock, making sure we're still sitting tall, and then return the foot back to the floor. Let's do this 4 more times. Lift, extend, bend, and return. 3 more repetitions. We lift, extend, bend, and return. Well done. 2 more of these. Checking posture as well, still keeping length in the spine as we lift and straighten. We bend and return. And our last repetition, doing really well. Lift and extend. Perfect. Bend and return feet to the floor. Our next exercise is going to work some of our hip muscles. So I'd like you just to check that your feet are still parallel, your legs are about hip width apart. Sit nice and tall, and let's take our right leg out to the side, opening your right leg out and then bring it back to that start position. Same with the left leg, open and close. Well done. We're going to open and feel the muscles in the bottom working really hard now. So as you take that leg out, we're increasing tension in our buttock muscles. Open the leg and close. So imagine your leg is like a door. So we open that door and close. Open the door and close. Let's do 2 more. Open and close. And our last one. Open and close. Well done. We're now moving into a standing position. So our next exercise is called sit to stand, and this is going to help us in our everyday lives when we need to stand from a chair and also to sit down using those large muscles in the lower body. We'll start by just tipping our upper body forwards so our feet stay where they are. We lean slightly forwards and push our feet firmly into the ground, and then return to your normal sitting position. We're going to lean forwards, press our feet down into the ground, and moving back. If you want to use your arms to help you for the first few, feel free to hold on to the sides of the seat. And we'll take our lean forwards, push our feet down, and then lift up into a standing position. Feel free to use your hands to press into the seat to stand up. Excellent work. And then slowly fold forward and sit down. If standing isn't an option, feel free just to tip forwards, push your feet down, feel the leg muscles working, feel a little bit of tension in your hips, and then bring your shoulders back. So this is good. This is a great way to strengthen the lower body without having to stand completely. Well done. If you are able to stand, we'll go through the series of movements, the lean, using your hands, or maybe now not using your hands, coming into that standing position. Good. Hold for a moment, and then I'd like you to sit your bottom back into the chair. Well done. So now we're going to stand around the back of your chair, and let's do some standing strength exercises now. What I'd like you to do is either place your hands on your chair back, or if you prefer and want to focus more on balance, feel free to rest your arms down by the side of you. And I'd like you just to take your right leg out to the side. So we're lifting the right leg out and bring that right leg back in. Let's do 3 more on the right side. So we're lifting the right leg out and return. Good. And again, out and return. And our last one before we switch over to the other leg. Well done. Same thing. Good. Take the leg out to the side. You should feel the muscles in your bottom working hard now as we lift the leg. Good. Our hip abduction work. We'll do 4 reps on this leg in your own time and only lifting as high as feels comfortable for you. Try not to lean forwards or backwards. Let's maintain a good long spine. Think about our posture as we take the leg away from the body. Well done. This is also going to help with our balance as well. So standing on one leg is going to challenge our balance and help to improve that. Excellent work. Now the next exercise is called the clam, the standing clam. I'd like you to hold the chair with your right hand, so just turning your body sideways now. And you're going to lift your left foot and place the inside of your foot along the inside of your right leg. And just simply turn your knee out to the side. That knee is turning out and turning back in. It's a bit like the door again that we referred to earlier with our side leg movement when seated. We're just going to open and close. Well done. Try to keep the hips still as you take your leg out to the side. So your tailbone points down, your hip bones are pointing forwards. Imagine your hip bones are like spotlights, the light beaming ahead. Perfect. Let's do 2 more of these. Open and close, and last one before we turn over. Turn around to the other side. Good. Left hand holding the chair, or feel free just to rest the arm by the side of the body. But if you feel a little bit unbalanced, just hold that chair lightly to help you maintain your posture. And we're going to lift the right foot and place the inside of the foot along the inside of the lower leg, and open and close. Hip bones like those little torches beaming forwards. Try and keep your tailbone lengthened down. Shoulders back and down, the chest is lifting, keeping lovely upper body posture as we focus now on the opening and closing and the strengthening of our bottom muscles. Looks good. Let's do a few more of these. Feeling that tension in your bottom as you open the leg, moving with control, keeping these movements steady. By strengthening our bottom muscles, which are the largest muscles in the body, just helps with our everyday activities, helps reduce the risk of injury, helps us with our walking, sitting, standing. If we have to get down onto the floor, it's very important that we keep these muscles in our hips strong and conditioned. 1 more of these standing clams. Well done. And the final exercise in this section, we are going to do some squats. So I'd like you to turn and face the back of the chair. You can rest your hands lightly on the back of the chair. Make sure we're not stooping. If you find your shoulders are stooping because perhaps your chair back is too low, feel free to place your hands onto a work surface, maybe something that's about hip height. Feet are a little bit wider than our hips now. And I'd like you to turn your legs out to roughly 10 o'clock and 2 o'clock. So from our hips, our feet a little bit wider than our hips, and our legs are slightly turned out to 2 o'clock and 10 o'clock. And I'd just like you to bend your knees, push your bottom back a little bit. Good. And slowly come up. Depth is personal to us all. If you have any knee problems, hip problems, please don't feel you've got to squat low. See how it feels. Use the chair as your support. Good. Just keep your hands resting. Or again, if you prefer not to use the chair, you can rest your hands on your hips or just by the side of the body. Push your bottom back as you bend your knees and have a look at your kneecaps. Try to keep your kneecaps aligned with the middle of your feet, in line with your second and third toe. We're checking that our knees are not rolling in as we bend. Perfect. Let's do a few more of these. Pushing our bottom just back behind our heels, keeping our knees in line with the second and third toe. Good. And as we come up, really squeezing those bottom and leg muscles, using our thighs and our bottom to help us to stand back up nice and tall. You certainly will feel this in your bottom and in your legs. Try 2 more if you can. If your body needs to rest, please do. Well done. And our last one. Good. Give our legs a little shake. They've worked really hard in this section. Let's do a little stretch now. One is for the hip crease, the hip flexors. I'd like you to turn sideways to your chair. Hold on to the chair for balance and take your outside leg back onto the ball of the foot. So we're going to lift our foot, take our foot behind the hip, place the ball of the foot onto the floor, bend your knees as if we're lunging, and tuck your tailbone under. And we'll just get a lovely stretch in the front of the hip. So the leg nearest the chair is flexed, your knee is bent, the outside leg is behind the body, and you're just bending both knees and then tilting the pelvis to feel a stretch along the front of the hip. I'm going to hold that for a few moments. Well done. Up we come, change sides, turn around. Same thing, the outside foot goes back onto the ball of the foot. We'll bend both knees, tuck the tailbone under, open up that hip crease and feel a good stretch along that groin area as we stretch the hip flexors. Nice deep breath in and a steady breath out. And step in, well done. Always stretch the front of our legs. So again, hold the chair for balance should you need to. And we're going to try and reach round for the foot. So we'll bend our right knee and our right hand, if you're able to, will grab hold of your foot or maybe your trouser leg or sock or heel and just position the knee underneath your hip bone. And I'm hoping that you feel a stretch along the front of the leg. So the position of the knee is underneath the hip. The thigh bone is long. Let's switch legs. Same thing. Grabbing the other foot. Holding onto the chair. Just to help you balance so you can concentrate on stretching out the front of the leg. Try to keep the knee joint underneath the hip bone so your thigh bone is vertical and the heel's a comfortable distance from your bottom. Make sure that we're not forcing the heel towards the hip in order to stretch the front of the leg. And return to the floor. We're going to sit down for our last stretch. So we'll sit on our chair once again. Feet about hip width apart. Straighten the left leg. Lightly tap the heel to the floor. And I'd like you to lean forwards. And as you lean forwards, lean from your hips. Try to keep your spine lovely and tall and long. And you should feel a stretch along the back of the leg. And we'll hold again for a couple of long breaths in and out. And if it feels comfortable, lean a little bit further forwards to a point where it feels good, it feels comfortable. Slowly come back up and we'll switch legs, starting with our feet hip width apart. Stretch the other leg long, the heel lightly touching the floor, and then lean forwards from your hips, keeping your chest lifted, your spine long. Try not to fold the back, but think about folding from the hips and you'll feel a stretch from the back of your knee up to your bottom. We're lengthening the back thigh. Good to stretch to help keep us supple, to help keep us nice and flexible, especially after our strength work. And slowly return to your sitting position. Well done, excellent work, and I hope your legs feel much stronger after that. Well done. That was an excellent session, and thank you for joining us on the move.